What's up, dog?
Not much, dog. What's up with you?
I'm here to pick up Casey, you know what I'm saying?
What's your name, man?
Scotty P, you know what I'm saying?
Well, I'm awake and I speak English, so yeah, I do know what you're saying. Those are cool tats, man.
Oh, for real. Thank you, bro. You
Yeah.
see the Cobra?
Hey, what is this one?
Oh, this?
Uh-huh.
That's my credo. No regrets.
You have no regrets?
Dad?
No?
Like, not even a single letter?
No way. Not me.
Well, I love them.
In the movie Meet the Millers, we get a good laugh at, I guess, the humorous side of regrets or regrets, depending on how you're looking at it. I could watch that clip 10 times. But in real life, the topic of regrets lands a lot heavier. Welcome back to Studio 5. You know, when it comes to living life to its fullest, we often hear the two-word directive, no regrets. No regrets. Well, my next guest says the goal shouldn't be to minimize regret, but instead to embrace it. In fact, Studio 5 contributor Dr. Liz Hale says regret points the way to a life well lived. I love that thought. Liz, welcome. Welcome. Great to see you.
Good seeing you.
You describe regrets as a really powerful emotion.
It is powerful and it's difficult, it's complicated. You know what I think, bottom line, we need to get good at feeling bad. We as a society, we're so good at like, oh, I don't want to feel that way, I don't want to look at that, but we're really missing a very valid opportunity, a pretty cool opportunity. If we can look at regrets squarely in the eye and learn from them, we make better decisions in the present. We're a little sharper. We make better decisions at school and at work. And overall, life just has a little bit more meaning, but we really need to embrace it versus pulling it away.
Not run away from it.
That's right.
Well, that banner line, live life with no regrets, it's a really popular perspective right now.
It is, yeah. We really like the no regrets, you know, or regrets, right? However you spell it, right? However it is.
It almost evokes like a confidence, or I don't know what people think that they're communicating when they say that.
Either. But to be human is to have made mistakes. We've made choices and decisions that we kind of wish we hadn't. So it's almost like the healthier we are, I think the more we can really look at regrets. There's three things to do with regrets, right? One is just to ignore them, like we were talking about, just to pull them away. Like, I don't want to think about that time of my life. It's the history, and I don't even want to go there.
I'm going to block it out.
I'm going to block it out. Yep, and we kind of miss an opportunity there, and we really are a little bit disillusioned, if you will. And then the other one is to wallow in it. That's not very healthy either, right? Like, oh, I hate myself for doing that. I'm never going to recover. My children, my parents will never forgive me, etc.
That's when it feels heavy, right?
It is so tough. Yes, absolutely. And I think that's what we try to avoid. But when we can address regret and we can learn from them, that's when we really kind of get the discovery of who we are. And regrets teach us about who we are and what we value. That's really the main reason why we want to embrace them.
What does the research tell us about regret?
You know, I love this new book. Daniel Pink is the author and the researcher. What his book is called The Power of Regret. And he really did some interesting quantitative analysis on regret, the largest that's ever been done. We need the ability to regret, to really look at ourselves and to learn and to feel bad about them. That's the only way we can really improve, is to kind of start to feel bad.
I love hearing you say that, because again, and it could just be the, you know, shunning away from it or not wanting to lean into it, but we don't want to let ourselves feel bad. Like, it's okay to feel bad about a decision or a move or a choice. Like you're saying, that's good.
We need to make peace with depression, anxiety, and regret. You know, some of the key points, the takeaways of this research, one is to do a little bit of a 10-year review. Like, we have a decision to make. Should I go to my great aunt's funeral on the East Coast? Well, 10 years from now, what am I going to wish that I had done? Right? That's always a good one. Self-compassion. How would you talk to yourself, or a good friend, rather, who had the same regret? That's always kind of magical. What would you say to a good friend who had your same regret? And then the silver lining, you know, well, at least, right? Sometimes, like, my regret is getting married in my 20s. Well, at least I could get an annulment, right? At least I didn't have children. For other people who might be divorced, let's say, after many years, well, at least I have my 3 great kids. Right? So you find the at least, you find the silver linings, you find something that you've learned along the way.
Is it helpful then to acknowledge the regret, to verbalize it, to say it out loud?
Yeah, we must, because it's when we put it in writing, we speak it, it loses its fangs, if you will, right? It loses its grit. I love this World Regret Survey. It's so fun. You might want to do it. 19,000 people across the world, 105 countries, have signed in for this real 3-minute survey on what your biggest regret is. You put your state, your biggest regret. It's anonymous. It's kind of fun to do. And it's also fun to see what so many people regret. You know, you can look at state and areas. It reminds me a little bit of online dating, right? I just felt better going on online dating, realizing that, wow, I'm not the only single person in this world. And there's comfort, I think, in just that connection and that and the power of more people. I'm not the only one that feels this way. I think sometimes we tend to get into that rut of like, I'm the only one this has ever happened to.
And you say through that research, we're finding that regret kind of falls into one of 4 buckets?
It does. Isn't that interesting? Yeah, the if-onlys. So the first one is foundation. That would be my health, my education, the money. I wish I had saved money. I wish I could have done it differently. And so maybe you go and speak to a group and you help new kids who are starting out on their careers. Let me help you save money. Let me help you do what I wish I hadn't done. The boldness regrets. I wish I had met that person. I wish I'd started that business. The moral regrets. It's so interesting. A 60-year-old woman still feels bad about stealing candy from her local grocery store as a kid. You know, just I wish I would have done the right thing. And then the connection regrets. I wish I would have reached out. So many times we don't reach out because we are afraid. We're afraid that 1, it's going to be awkward, and 2, we're not going to be well received. We're not going to be wanted. So isn't that quite so sad?
When is it? When I mean, maybe the answer is always if it's ruminating inside of you, or if you're unsettled or unresolved. But when is a good time to act on that regret or to try to make amends with those tangled thoughts that you're having?
I think especially with connections, that's the largest regret pool, believe it or not. Yep, it is. Like a relationship that we had and then it went south. We either had a rift or we just had a drift. Either way, if you keep thinking about that person, always reach out. It's never as awkward as you think it's going to be, and it's almost always well received and welcomed. So I think it's harder just to let bygones be bygones. It's better to really have that connection. Life is short. I think we know that more than ever before about we needing those connections, and that life is so uncertain.
So bottom line with regrets, let it be a teacher.
Looking backward helps us propel forward.
I like that. Liz, looking at your regrets and with new eyes today, thank you so much. We appreciate it.